Hello, welcome to SORMAG's Book Festival. I'm LaShaunda Hoffman, and I'm super excited to be back for our next panel. We're talking about my favorite things, marketing. And today on our guest panel is Miss Angela Anderson, and I'm going to be the other guest. But I'm super excited to talk to Angela. She is a wealth of information, and I think just as excited about books as I am, and that's when you know you have a kindred spirit. So welcome, Miss
Hey, welcome. Look, so of course, like I'm behind the scene, LaShaunda. I'm cheesing, I'm smiling. I'm like, I get to hang out with LaShaunda on today and talk about marketing.
See, I'm the same way. I get to hang out with Angela. What kind of hat is she gonna wear on my show?
There you
So,
have it. I wore the
oh,
pink
I love
tam
it. I
today.
love it. But before I let you introduce yourself, I just have to say this. One of the things that I love about social media is that it shows you people that you've never met, but you just like, oh, I want to meet this person in person one day. And you come in my feed, and I'm like, this woman loves her some books. I love that. It's very rare that you meet a reader who's excited about every book that she gets, and she treats them like they're gold, and she's showcasing them. She's doing these cute videos, and I'm like, oh man, you're me before social media. I didn't have, if I had social media when I first started, I would be you. But they didn't have my thing was I could talk on my blog, I could talk in forums and stuff, but I couldn't show you those books that I loved. And so now I don't even have books. I just have I have my ebooks all the time. So I'm like, but it's not the same because you have this book and you're showing the book and you flip it through and you show it and you know, and I'm like, oh, where did we have this when I was had the books? Now I don't have the books. So I live through Angela. I get to go on her page and look at her lovely
Oh,
videos and her TikToks and different things. And I just love, and I can't wait to have a book that she can hold and show to her readers. So welcome, Angela. Please tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do, and how much you love books.
oh my goodness. Well, first of all, LaShaunda, thank you so much for having SORMAG Book Festival 2023. And it's such an honor to be able to participate this year and to be on your platform. I'm totally honored to do that. But yes, I am Angela Anderson of Angela Anderson Presents. And one of the things that fall up under that umbrella is Angela's Literary Cafe, Angela's Literary Tea, all of that good stuff. But through Angela Anderson Presents, I am also able to provide marketing services, PR services. I also have masterclass and workshops that I teach, all of that good stuff as well, in addition to my love for books.
All right, all right. So I guess I have to introduce myself since I'm on the panel too. So I'm LaShaunda Hoffman, and I started my love of books in my mother's womb. She used to read to me, and so I've been reading books since I was 4 years old. I love them. I love them. In the year 2000, I started an online magazine called Shades of Romance, and it opened me up to a whole new adventure that I never really dreamed I was going to go on, meeting authors, showcasing their books. And we were a award-winning magazine. And in 2020, I closed it down to focus on my writing. And then that took off into a whole nother adventure. And it's been fabulous. I love it. But the magazine helped me write a book in 2015. I wrote a book called Building Online Relationships, One Reader at a Time. And it was just all the things that I did to market the magazine. I put it in this book, and that shot up. That introduced me to a whole new world again. I went down the book promotion side. I went into coaching authors on how to promote themselves, creating programs, creating master classes and masterminds. Right now, I have a mastermind. I'm working with a young lady, helping her get herself together for 2024 so she could publish her book at the end of the year. And I just love talking about promotion. It's one of my things that I like to do because I believe that there is a book for every reader, and they can't find it unless you tell them about it. And so I tell my friends, my authors that all the time. find the fun stuff. So we're going to talk about fun promotion. We're going to talk about the hard promotion. And we're going to talk about why you need to promote. And I'm going to start with Angela with the first question is, let's talk about how readers can help us first.
Okay.
How do you think readers can help? Because I know you are a reader and you do a lot to help authors. So tell us, how can readers help authors?
That's a great question. Readers can definitely help authors. One, I mentioned it. I'm also on the book influencer panel. And
Mm-hmm.
so feel free, guys, to go over there. There are some questions there. I've answered some questions. Feel free to put some questions there. But one of the things that I said was that readers can help authors in the sense that it's one thing for authors to say, my book is great, read my book. But think about how much more value it has when a reader says, read this book is really good. Word of mouth is still a powerful tool in this industry. I'm just thinking of, I know there are so many books that I have one click just because one of my other reader friends said, hey girl, read this book. I know lately I have been on this Dear thing. And of course, if y'all don't know what Dear is drop everything and read. And I've had some books where I'm like, hey guys, this is a Dear. I need you to drop everything and read. So that's one of the ways that readers can help authors is one, to help them to get the word out, to help them with their promotions and things of that nature too. I'm sure, LaShaunda, you know, one of the ways that a lot of readers get together is that they are part of street teams that authors may have, or they are a part of authors' ARC teams, which is your advanced reader copies or early reviewer teams and things of that nature. So again, being a part of those types of things, being in that space, being in the bookish community, are ways that authors can reach out to readers to help to grow their readership and to find new readers.
That's good. That's good stuff. So I'm gonna give. I was writing down so I can remember 4 things that I try to tell people when they say I don't have any funds, I can't buy the book. And so this is what I tell them. I said, one, you can ask the library at your local library to order the book for you, and that puts it into the library system.
Yeah.
And then go in there and request it when it comes through, so they can see that people want to read that book. You can share
Yeah.
information on your social media page. Some back in the day when social media first started, we used to do a takeover page. If your favorite author book came out for the day, then you changed your profile picture to that book. You talked about that book on your page. If you had groups, then you would have book discussions in those groups about that thing. You can still do that. You know, I
Exactly.
always, whenever I see somebody's book, I'm a book promoter, and I do, the people who I promote on they do pay me, but every now and
Mhm.
then I'll get some friends or somebody that I know has a book released that day, and I share it. I hit that share button and I share it. And sometimes Facebook will act crazy, so I will copy the content and then put it on my page, so it will get sit down into my feed. I remember sharing one of my lovely people. She's from St. Louis, but I love her anyway. Pat Simmons. Pat Simmons had this dress that was a blue dress on the cover of her book. I know I probably helped sell a whole bunch of them, because for some reason that dress drove my readership, my people in my feed crazy. They were like, "Who book is this? What is this book about? The dress is amazing." You know, they was hitting me
Yes.
back just because of the cover. So, you know, even though you don't have any money to buy a book right then and there, you can help share that to your community. Like Angela said, the word of mouth is what sells books.
Mhm.
I'm listening to the Jada Pinkins book, but I had planned on listening to it anyway. But do you know how many people that said they were not reading it? They were not
Mhm.
listening to it. They were not supporting it. And I'm laughing my head off, because I'm like, you giving her free promotion. You giving this woman free promotion because you saying you not reading it. Guess what? It's gonna, everybody in their feed go say, "Well, I'm reading." Oh, no, I ain't reading. Yes, I'm reading it. That would look. I talked about the Prince Harry. Prince Harry. I'm a
Mhm.
royals person. I love royal stuff. So they're my babies. I've known them since they was born. And so I read his story and I posted it on there. That was my highest book post for the whole year. I know I got 2,000 views on that, on a Facebook post. That has never happened in my life. 2,000 views. And then half of them people was people I did not know that was commenting that they hated Harry. I did not know people hated Harry. And now people was bringing people over because I said I loved Harry. And I was like, why would this be my book? I'm getting 2,000 views on and 500 comments on a book that, that's for somebody else. But it just shows you the controversy. If it's controversy, people gonna talk about it like a dog. But that's free promotion for the person. People don't understand that. I know when when people books come out, I hear all the time, nobody said nothing about my book. They ain't sharing it, they ain't saying nothing. Because the jealousy of some people, they're like, nope, I'm not going to help you get to the number one. But you helping these people you don't know. I mean, like, what? I don't understand, so word of mouth does still help a lot. Does a lot. Sharing people's stuff. Share it. See how many shares that this person can get off of their thing. They can go back later and you got 2 shares and you got 5,000 people following you. That's so hateful. And it's hurtful too, because you're trying to get out there in front of people, and you're like, and I get this all the time when I'm doing a virtual tea with people, and they say, LaShaunda, my friends are not helping me. So we're gonna talk about that. My friends are not helping me. And I said, so let me ask you this question. Is your friend a reader? Did they read the type of books that you write? Have you ever seen them buy books? Do they go to the library? Because your friends might not be readers. My friends, I love my friends. I love them. I probably got 3 out of all my friends that actually read books. One of my friends, she's like, whenever it comes out, I'm buying it. I'm going to read it. Excited, but they're not my target audience. So let's talk about target audience, because I think a lot of people miss that because they just think, I put this book out. I hear this is what they say. My book for everybody, LaShaunda. And I say, oh, we got work to do.
Exactly, LaShaunda. We have a lot of work to do because everybody is not your reader.
No. You need to know who your book is for. And a lot of people miss that because they're so excited, especially we were talking about earlier. I said somebody told me that when they come and tell me that God gave me this book, and I'm, they ready to work with me, or they say, God gave me this book. It's going to be just like this. I don't need no help. I don't need no editing. And I'm like, okay, you're going to be a hardhead. So if you're a hardhead trying to write the book, I know what you're going to be when it comes to promoting it. So no, I don't think we should work together, because you got to be, one of the things I've learned with promotion is you got to be open-minded. You got to be willing to try new things, because like we were talking about, years change, stuff has changed. Somebody was talking about they had MySpace. It's probably people don't even know what MySpace is because they came on. They like TikTok. It's like TikTok. I have authors that tell me they're not getting no TikTok, and I said, you get on platforms because your target audience is there. You don't get on platforms because that's what everybody's at. Everybody's on TikTok, but is your audience there? But if your audience is certain age range, they might not be on TikTok. They might be on Facebook. They might be on Instagram. So that's why you need to know who is your target audience. So then you won't be running around here like a chicken with your head cut off, trying to hit everybody. So what's your advice for picking the target audience?
And I'm glad you said that. You definitely hit on some key points, that yes, everybody is not your audience or your target audience. And you want to make sure that you find out who those people are. And that definitely comes into place with marketing, because if you're kind of just like throwing paint at a wall, you don't really have a target, or what have you, it's just going to fall right to the ground. It's going to fall flat, or what have you. So one of the things that I would definitely suggest for them, in addition to being on these various platforms and finding their target audience or what have you, is you gotta build quality relationships. And LaShaunda, I know you've probably heard me talk on panels and things and stuff before. Guys, let me just tell you, for me, how like when you're building a house, you kind of have like a foundation. I feel like quality relationships is like your foundation. That's going to also help you with your marketing and your promoting and things of that nature too, because people want to feel like they know you, or if they don't know you, they want to feel like they're able to get to know you, or what have you. So even though you may be marketing your book or marketing your services or marketing your product on social media or on your website or doing ads and things of that nature, if you have not built a sense of trust, then people are just going to kind of keep on moving by. You know what I'm saying? Like, why should I stop? Why should I read this book? Why should I purchase this book? Or what have you? Do they feel like they know you? And then the other thing that I would add to that, a little bit, LaShaunda, because we're talking about being on the various platforms or what have you, definitely do your research and educate yourselves on the platforms, because all social media is not created equally. And what I mean by that is that the different platforms, they may function a different way. Like, I may have one post that I post on Facebook and it may get this number of views, and then I may post that same one on Instagram and it may do something a little different. Not only that, you need to know your social media platforms, because say, for example, like LinkedIn, you don't treat LinkedIn the same way that you treat Facebook or what have you, if that particular, if that makes sense. So I like to tell individuals that, especially on this marketing and promoting and stuff like that, in addition to knowing where your target audience is, you actually also need to know the specifics of those platforms, and don't feel like you have to be everywhere. Do what is comfortable for you. Do what works for you. So all platforms may not work for you, but like LaShaunda said, if you know that your target audience is on certain ones, what have you, and you want to make yourself, available on those particular platforms, do that. But don't, feel like, oh my goodness, I'm missing out if I'm not on this particular platform, or I'm missing out if I'm not on this particular platform. I hope that made sense if I answered that question.
You did. It makes a lot of sense, because I work with people who, when they don't know their target audience, they're having a hard time.
Yeah.
And when you know your target audience, you know who this book is for. So you get a feeling of where to market it, even with going to events and things like that.
Yes.
If you don't write interracial romances, well, why are you going to interracial romance conferences and readers events if none of your books are interracial? You think, oh God, they're gonna read. That's what I hear. Well, they read everything, but they come in here because this is the type of book they're looking for.
Yeah.
You write Christian fiction and you went to a fantasy thing, unless it's Christian fiction fantasy, and they're not talking to you, and you're mad because nobody coming to your table. You don't have elves, you don't got witches, you don't got no dragons. They're not talking to you. So, just because they're readers are, they know what they like. Readers know what they like. They know what they want, and they have no problem spending the money for it if it's what they want. I used to go to the Romance Slam Jam, and we would go. Now, I'm one of those people, when I go to an event as a reader, I ain't bringing my old books so you can sign them. I'm buying all new. That's just me. Me and my mother used to go. We go with our empty suitcases, because we bringing books home. You see people bringing carts and stuff, and that was fine. They wanted to get their books signed, and then they bought books. But I'm like, that's too. I need all my space for all my new books, But when you went to that event, you knew that people were coming there to buy books. They already knew. And then we had somebody one time that ran out of books, and them people was mad because they went to lunch, and we all went to the book signing, and they went to lunch, and they came back and all the books was gone, and they was like, it's 150 people here. Why they have 150 copies? They said, well, some people bought 3 and 4 copies. You snooze, you lose, And so that's what you need to know when you go into an event. That's your audience there. Because if you're sitting at your table and everybody's passing you by and you're wondering, what's happening? I learned that the hard way with doing the nonfiction book. I had a book about promotion. It was 50 authors there. So I was like, my audience is here. I'm gonna sell some books. But because I was new to selling books, I didn't realize that them people stay at their table. They don't get up. They don't come around and look at stuff. They stay at their vending table most of the time if they by themselves. Now, if they got somebody with them, they might could pop up and get up and stuff. And I was like, yes, my audience is here, but they can't see me because they got to man their own stuff. And so I realized that if I was going to go to event, I had to be on the panel so they could hear me. I could talk to them, and then I could sell books that way. But trying to sell to an author at an author event, but I learned that. I had to learn that, and so I knew my target audience was there. But how could I get in front of them? And that's what you have to think about when you're looking at your target audience. How can I get in front of this reader who loves these type of books? The same way I'm writing a science fiction book, and I was like having such a hard time. I was on TikTok. I'm on TikTok, and everybody was like, get on TikTok. That's where all the readers are at. But I'm a researcher. So I got on there. I was already on there promoting my nonfiction stuff. But I was like, well, is there an audience here for me? So I started doing hashtags. I started going deeper into book talk. And there was a science fiction romance community, but they liked spicy books. And I wrote sweet romance. And oh, man. And I got some hints, some dinks, some people that stuff. But I realized that my audience was not there. The science fiction sweet romance, them people those readers weren't there. If I want to write some spicy stuff, they're there. So I realized that TikTok was great for my nonfiction stuff, but for my sweet romance, no. I had to dig too deep to find those readers. But I wouldn't have known that if I just listened to people. Girl, get on TikTok, your book will blow up. And I was like, the TikTok really loves spicy stuff. Spicy stuff. You gonna blow up because they just love it. They love it. Also, what I learned with TikTok, because my book is an ebook. It's not a print. So they love print on TikTok. But I did my research. I went over there and I looked. I was like, what do they do? Are they reading it? When they promoting books on here, what are they doing? They going to the bookstore. They go into the library. They get these big old stacks, and then they come back and then they tell you each one of the books they got. Books, not ebooks. Ain't nobody up there saying, here, read my phone. They ain't saying that. And so, but I did my research. I looked for that. I saw that. What's going on? Someone told me, get on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is the place to be. LinkedIn is the place to be. Yes, they have some promotion. But I found for me, it was all about the networking, the contacts. I've got like 4 or 5 invites to conferences because of LinkedIn. It wasn't about because I was promoting books. You know what it was? I was sharing information about nonfiction, how to promote yourself, how to do this on LinkedIn. Go look at the stuff. Take you a month and check out the sites. Don't just get on there because everybody say that's where you're supposed to be. I got on Threads. I still haven't figured Threads out. But I found that I talk more to authors than readers. I have not found many readers on there. But if you want to most of the authors that were on Twitter slid over to Threads. And so I've had great conversations with authors, which is good for me with the nonfiction book. But for science fiction, no, won't happen. But I went and I found when I got on Facebook, my community on Facebook, my SORMAG community, are mostly writers. And so I realized that when I started writing romance, I needed a whole new community. So I, got my own profile, and I knew it was going to take a while to build it up. I knew that going in. I didn't know, I'm going to start with 5,000 people because I got 5,000. No, that audience is just for the nonfiction stuff. That audience don't want to hear nothing about no aliens and none of that. But you know how I know? Because I asked. I did little mini surveys. I was on that platform and I said, well, what do you read? Who reads? Who's on Kindevella? What the heck is Kindevella? Oh, okay. You know, but if you ask questions, you get a feel of who is following you. Some people have built platforms and none of those people on that platform is their audience. And it's hard. It's really, really hard because they've spent years cultivating this audience. With me, I spent years cultivating SORMAG's audience of writers. Some readers, most of the readers are there are romance, but they ain't into science fiction romance. They're like, nah, we like real men. We don't want to see no alien stuff, you know, and it's okay. I'm okay with it. I just knew that I had to move where the people are. Go find my audience. And I'm still looking for my audience, but I know that going in, I'm okay with that. Most people come like they think that the audience is supposed to come because you hit the button that says you released. It don't work that way. Well, I really do wish it did, that I could push that red button and I could get the people that I need. We had a question from Shawan I'm going to put up here for us. She was talking about
and LaShaunda, while you're finding that question, Christina said in the comment section, she said there are a lot of readers on Thread, but you have to make sure you have readers who you follow and mention readers in your post, is what Christina said. She's an indie author that she said in the chat.
Yeah, but me and Christina, we hit each other up on Threads all the time. So I know there are readers there. You just got to take time. And the other thing that I say is when you're on these social media things, don't be a drive-by promoter. Don't get on here and just post, oh, my book release, and that's the only time we see you. Then you come back for the next one next 6 months. And then you saying, ain't nobody following me. You already in the top Facebook, but you only coming on here once a month. So guess what you gonna get? Once a month promotion. That's all they gonna give you. You have to be active when you're building relationships. You can't think that you got people gonna talk to you when you only come on here once a month. You know, so you gotta think about what you putting in, because what you put in is what you get back. If you put in once a month promotion, then you're gonna get back once a month promotion.
LaShaunda, I'm glad you said that too, because for authors and readers, it's almost like you have to create a rhythm. And with your rhythm, your audience, whether it's your authors, whether it's readers or what have you, they will learn your rhythm. They will learn your flow. For example, I know LaShaunda on Tuesdays, I want to say it's Tuesdays at lunchtime, she does like a little 15-minute. Do you still do the 15-minute tea time?
I was doing it in the summertime.
In the summertime. See, but guess what, LaShaunda? I got into your rhythm. I was like, on Tuesdays around 12 o'clock, LaShaunda's gonna pop on. So if you teach your followers what your rhythm is or what have you, that helps. And it goes back to what LaShaunda had said a little bit earlier. And I had also said, again, building relationships, because if it's all about buy my book, buy my book, buy my book, it's like, okay, well, is there anything else? I mean, there's a lot of things you can do for marketing. I mean, you can, you can do a cover reveal. You can do a character art of your characters and kind of describe how they look and all that good stuff. If your book has certain themes or what have you, you could do a this or that with the themes. There's different things that you could do to cause engagement, where you are actually engaged with these individuals throughout. Prime example, what season are we in? Hello, it is Christmas. Okay, there is so much that you could do around the whole Christmas thing. LaShaunda, you probably saw this one up. This was probably like right before Thanksgiving. So many people was posting, when do you put your tree up? Do you put your tree up before Christmas? Do you put it up in December? Do you put it up on Christmas Eve? Or, all these things. But again, these are things that help you with marketing. So when you get ready to say, buy my book, they're like, hey, we've been hanging out with her all month long. So now that she wants to tell us about her book, I'm all ears, if that makes sense. So anyway,
That
LaShaunda,
makes
go
a
ahead.
lot of sense because I don't put up a Christmas tree. My husband's a Muslim, so we don't do decorating. So I put on my post, I said, well, I don't have a Christmas tree, but I would love to see yours. And I got some of the best Christmas tree posts, people putting their little beautiful trees up. So I got into the Christmas spirit because of my readers, my followers had Christmas. So I was all excited for them. So our
Yeah.
question is, how important is Arthur's personal brand in the marketing process, and what are the best ways to develop and leverage it? Good question.
That is a good question. This actually kind of goes back to what we were saying. Your personal brand is everything because not only is a reader buying your book, they actually buy you. And what I mean by that is I've had authors that are new to me that I don't really know them because first of all, they may be a debut author, but then sometimes they may not be a debut author, but they're just a new author to me. Guys, just this week alone, I have one-clicked so many books that were new authors to me. But again, I was able to go back. I was able to kind of research them. I was able to look at their backlist. I was able, like LaShaunda said, I was able to go see what genre did they write, and how do they show up, because that's important to me. Because if I'm following someone and all that good, that's a whole nother show. That's a whole deep dive.
Right.
That's a whole nother show. I have workshops on that, all that good stuff. But so I have to make sure that this is an author that I want to follow. I mean, I'm just being real. Or this is an author that I read their book. Do they write the type of book that I read? Do they write the type of books that I promote? Do they write the type of books that that my followers write or listen to or what have you? So I kind of do my research, and one of the things that I look at is their brand. Who is this author? What are they about? What genre do they write in? Outside of writing, what types of things do they do? What are their likes? What are their dislikes? Are they similar to mine? So having a personal brand is very important, because again, people sometimes they may not know you per se, but they know your brand. They know what you stand for. They know what your books are about, or what have you. So that's very key. And I hope that answered the question. You, LaShaunda, what about you?
Well, I want to talk to the person who is just starting. So you have no audience, you have no readers, you haven't probably finished the book. And so I use myself as an example. When I started, the color purple. So the color purple is in honor of my mom. Most people think that's my favorite color, but my mom was my book buddy. We went to all the book things, and when she passed, I wanted something that said that she was with me. And so the purple was what I started doing. And then then Facebook started using the purple, using the background colors. And I was like, ooh, I wonder if they got purple. And so I started using purple. I was not calling myself branding anything. But when I started working with a graphic artist, she said, well, what is your brand colors? And I was like, I don't have brand colors. She said, yes, you do. And I'm like, no, I don't. I don't have brand colors. I said, I do romance, and most time it's just red stuff. And she's like, She said, you know what your brand color is? I said, no. And she says, purple. And I said, purple? What? Because red is my favorite color. But I was like, purple? Where would you get purple from? She said, LaShaunda. When I see a purple post, I know it's LaShaunda. And I was like, what? Really? And she's like, yeah, because most people aren't using purple, and that's how you stand out. She said, I'll go through my feed and I'll see a purple post, and I'm like, that's LaShaunda. And I was like, wow. So sometimes your brand comes up and you don't even know you had a brand, you know. But what I found is that you want people to, like she said, when my post came in her feed, she knew it was me. She knew it was me. You know, for me, my brand is, I'm going to always talk about books. You know, I'm talking about books. I talk about TV a lot. If you follow me right now, you know I'm suckered into K-dramas. That's all I'm talking about. I'm going to be talking about K-dramas. And they didn't move me over to K-pop. So in some songs I'll be probably talking about. I talk a lot about grief because that was how I dealt with my mom. So I talked about it. And book promotion. I'm always talking about them. So that was my 5 things I'm talking about. And every now and then I might talk about my grandkids, but that's what I talk about. And that's what I do. And sometimes I tell my husband sometimes he send me some shirt that's on your post. I'm like, that's not my brand, honey. He looked at me like, what? But when you know what you want to talk about, what you want to be known for, then you have no problems making content for that. You have no
Right.
problems staying in your lane. Because sometimes I'll be like, I want to talk about that so bad, but I'm like, nope, I ain't bringing that over here. I can't bring that over there. I learned that I was going to talk about religion and politics. Sometimes you get pulled that way. We went through a lot of stuff in St. Louis when we went through a lot of stuff with the Mike Brown thing, and I was pissed. So I talked about it a little bit, but you have to know what you want to talk about, what you stand for, what you don't stand for, and you stay in your, you can go outside it sometimes, but I hear a lot of people tell me all the time that they don't know what to talk about. I don't know what to share. I don't know what to say. And I said, just pick 3 things and focus on those. You drive yourself crazy trying to do everything. You're not going to reach everybody. But people know I love coloring. I got a coloring book. So people know that about me. They know that as again, I said K-drama. They know I'm new into K-dramas. I love K-dramas. Somebody send me a text and say, hey, LaShaunda, have you seen this? Check this out. These are my people that I'm talking to. When I first started I used to send Christmas cards to people. We do Christmas cards. That's the connection you make. So when you meet them in person, it's almost like you're meeting your best friends or your friends you ain't seen in a long time. It's a reunion versus you going there, you're scared to death. You're not going to know anybody. You're not going to connect with anybody. You go there and you already know these people because you've met them online. You've talked to them online. I always say, if you're not talking to somebody different every day, you're not doing social media right, because you keep talking to the same people. That's all the social media is going to show you, those 3 people, and you ain't talking to nobody else. And people say that all the time. Nobody's talking to me. My feed is not moving, and you're not being consistent. Who are you talking to? What are you doing? And social media is not for everybody. It's not. So I don't push it on there. But how are you meeting readers? That's your question for today. How many readers did you meet this week? You didn't meet nobody this week. You got to up your game. I was trying to see if we had another question before. I don't know how to move this thing up. Hold on. Here's another one from Shawana. She said, "Can you tell us a unique marketing strategy that you have used to promote and sell your books?" Ooh, okay. One of the things that I teach my clients and what I've been using for 20 plus years is I ask questions. So every day I ask one question. If I might ask 4 or 5 questions today, but I always make sure I ask a question. And what I teach my clients is to sit down and write 30 questions that you want to know about your potential reader. Get to know your reader. So if you write those 30 questions, you post a question. Sometimes people go, LaShaunda, I did your assignment and I got crickets. I said, that's okay. That just means you got to revamp and check those questions again. Go look at those questions again and see what is it that you asking that you got crickets. Why are you getting crickets? Maybe it wasn't a question they was interested in. Like you said, it's Christmas time. You got 50 million questions you can ask on Christmas. What was your favorite gift that you got for your Christmas present that your parents gave you? What are your favorite chocolate chip cookies? Or what are your favorite ways? What's your tradition that you do for Christmas? What you have to think about when you're doing a marketing strategy is that it's not always about buying my book. It's about getting around this book, telling me about. You can take quotes from your book and put them on pretty Christmas graphics. And what did he say? What did he do? We talked about the man serenade yesterday. A man was serenading the woman on the while she was taking a bath. Man, that's a little snippet that you can put on a graphic and share to your community. They'd be like, on the bath. What is he doing? What was that about? Let me go check out this book. How can you draw me into your book? That's what you want to do. How can I be excited about your book? Just showing me the cover is not going to get me excited. Get me in between pages. What can I learn about your book? What did it take you to write that book? That's something I might want to be interested in knowing. How long did it take you? Somebody said it took them 10 years to write a book. Wow. Can you imagine having the patience to wait for 10 years to write a book? I can, because I'm that person. But explain to me why you that person. I start talking about fear to get out of my fear, because I knew I was fearful and I was letting it control me. So I start talking about it. I got on TikTok and I talked about sending an episode to my editor, and I was scared to send it to her because I was like this. I felt this was a good episode. I felt it in my heart. Oh my God, this is so good. I did my best. What is she gonna say? I was worried that she was gonna cut it up. And I said, I was telling them on TikTok that, and I said, she put on the top of it A plus. And I was almost in tears because I was like, I done drove myself crazy thinking she was gonna shred it, and she gave me an A plus. And I put that on. I told them on TikTok. I said I was scared to death, and I got an A plus, y'all, an A plus. And that sent people over to the book to go check out the book. Well, what's the book about? You know, if I hadn't shared that, people wouldn't have asked me, well, what's your book about? People ask me that. Well, what's your book about? Why was you so scared? You know, they're talking to me. They're engaging with me over something big, just saying, telling my experience of writing my book. So it's not always about the book per se when you're doing. That's what I learned about marketing, is that it's not always about the book. It's about learning who you are. It's about sharing your experiences. It's about getting to. I share more about other people's books than I do mine most of the time. But that's because I want my feed to move. If it's all about LaShaunda's books, guess what? They're gonna move on to somewhere else because they already seen your book. They seen it. Most of the time, they're following you already have your book. So that's why I say you have to do different things. That's the second, that you have to do new things. If you're doing the same stuff you've been doing for the last 5 years and you're not selling books, guess what? It's time to do something else. I tell my clients, if that's working, you getting them royalties, the royalties are popping, I don't have nothing to tell you. You come to me because the royalties ain't popping. You like, I need to talk to you. I need to have virtual tea session because my royalties are not popping. I'm getting that $5 royalty check. I need to get more. And it's usually because we're doing the same thing. Everybody's on Facebook. Well, that's where you're supposed to be at. But your audience might not be there. And so you have to know, you got to look at your stuff. I always use December as the results thing. Let's look at what happened through the year. Okay, look at your stuff. Look at your numbers. Those numbers will never fail you. Look at your numbers, and it will tell you if your marketing strategy worked or you need to up your game. And most times, if you're not selling books, it's because you're not marketing. I hope that helps.
And LaShaunda, oh, go ahead. I was gonna answer her question, but before I did that, Christina said something that was very great, and I am a firm believer in that. She said it's wonderful to share about fellow authors as well, and I'm glad that she said that because one of the things that when I have my clients and we have one-on-ones, I tell them that building relationships with other authors is key as well, because guess what? Readers, we trust you guys as the authors. So if one of my author friends, Pat Simmons, say, hey, Angela, you need to read so-and-so's book, I trust Pat. So I'm like, let me go read so-and-so's book. Or LaShaunda may say, hey, you need to read so-and-so's book. I trust LaShaunda, so I'm going to read so-and-so's book. So Christina, thank you so much for saying that. That is so key, authors, to build author relationships and collaborations. There's things that I know some people in the bookish community, I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's called a newsletter swap. And it's where authors swap newsletters, meaning that they promote another author's book on their newsletter and the other author do the same, vice versa. Same thing. Author takeovers on each other's social media pages, where you may go on another author's page doing an author takeover and you're talking about your book. Well, first of all, it's a win-win because the author whose page you're taking over, they have trusted readers and followers. And then of course, you as an author may have trusted readers and followers. Bring all those together, you have a broader reach. So that is something that you can do. You can do collaborations with other authors and things of that nature. But to answer the question, what is a unique tool that I teach my clients, or that I use with my clients, is first of all, I tell them to start promoting and marketing early. Okay. When your book is an idea and you have started, you started writing it and you're in the writing cave, guess what? You can start marketing that book. You know, you can start creating buzz. You don't have to put a due date or anything on it or a date that it's going to be released to start creating buzz for that. That's so key. You want to start early because think about how many books come out every day. If you guys follow me, you've heard me say this where LaShaunda, sometimes it's not even 7 o'clock in the morning. I ain't going to tell you how many books I may have one-clicked, but let's just say I start early. Let's just say I start early and I'm like, really, Angela, it ain't even 7 o'clock and you don't one-clicked how many books today? Not even talking about the books that you've pre-ordered that, you know, if it's a release day, and then books that I may have ordered, you know, we ain't gonna talk about all that. But again, I'm telling you that, you know, just being on these social media streets and listening to other individuals, I'm like, ooh, let me get that book. And then LaShaunda, you know, I'm a cover nerd. You know, I love a pretty cover. Oh my goodness. Y'all don't even know how many books I have one-click just because the cover is gorgeous. Okay. But anyway, let me get back to what I was saying. So start early. You do not want to wait till like it's the week before and you reach out to LaShaunda or you reach out to me for my services and say, can you help me market my book? We can probably help you, but let me just say, and then we can be booked. You know, we can be booked. Our schedule could be booked. We may not have any room to fit you in. So it's very important that you start early. But another thing that I would say, and I'll throw it back over to LaShaunda after this, is that simplify it, break it down into campaigns. Okay. These are 3 areas that the book is going to go in a cycle. First of all, you got the pre-release. Okay. This is when the book is, you're either working on the book is about to be released. There's a lot of things that you could do in the marketing arena during that pre-release phase. Okay. That's phase 1. Phase 2 is the book is out. It's release day, it's release week, it's release month, it's release 6 months or whatever. What are you doing during that time? And then this is one, LaShaunda, I don't know if you found with your clients, but I know I found with mine that a lot of times they forget about the post-release. What are you talking about after the book has been released? Because guess what? Someone may not have bought the book on release day or release week, but guess what? It may be a month from now. And they may be just finding out about your book. But how are they just finding out? Because you're still talking about your book. Prime example, there was a book, and we did a drop everything and read on this particular book, LaShaunda. There was a book that I saw on the TikTok streets. I saw it on the TikTok streets and I saw it on the Bookstagram streets. Okay. And LaShaunda, the book had came out in May. I was like, how did I not know about this book? What in the world? This book, first of all, guys, the cover is gorgeous, okay? But when I was like, how did I not know? Guys, the book had came out in May. When I went to check it out and research about it, it had over 2,000 reviews. I didn't find out about the book until like September. Again, post-release. Book came out in May. September and I know about books, but somehow I missed this one. But it was in September. I could not one-click fast enough. And guess what we do? And I called one of my buddy readers. We did a buddy read. So I told a friend to tell a friend. And guys, I have told so many people about this book and they have did a drop everything and read. And I didn't find out about the book until September. So again, 3 things. Take notes. Pre-release, release week or release month, and then post-release. All right. There you go, LaShaunda. I hope that was helpful.
I teach that too. That's the 3 things I teach too. But I really emphasize the post because we are so excited about the release, and then when it releases, we're yay, and then we're done. No, you're not. No, you're not.
Yes, don't forget about the post release.
An indie author is never done because you can always bring people back. I tell my clients every month, if you got a newsletter, you can feature a different book. If you got tons of books in your newsletter, just take that newsletter because somebody on your newsletter has not read the book. So bring them back to it, you know. And so, like you said, it came out in May. Somebody probably in September hadn't seen it, you know, when you got it in September. So there's always somebody who has not read your book. And that's what I always remember, that there's somebody who has not read your book, and that's the person that you're promoting to. You're not promoting to the people who have the book. You're promoting to new people, because the thing about books is what I learned the hard way with having just one book was that people want more. So you get that one book, and I didn't. It hit me in the head because that's what I wasn't writing nonfiction. So when people would say that, well, LaShaunda, when is the next book coming out? Because there's always more stuff on promotion. Why haven't you done more? And I was like, oh, that's just one book. I'm not writing no more, but it made it hard for me because I was forever promoting that one book, trying to find new readers where I had already built a readership, but I didn't have nothing else to share with them. So that's my other tip is have more stuff to share with your readers, because if you only got one book, don't be a one book a person. If you're going to be a book, get you a series, maybe 1, 2, 3 books, 4 books, have more books for them. I was going to say the other thing is before we get out of here, you need an email list. You want to build a readership and you want to get in front of them over and over again, that email list is it. Don't let Amazon have your email list. You have your own email list. So start that before you become LaShaunda, the published author. Do it before nobody knows who you are. Get that, get people on there. You're going to get one reader at a time. You're not going to get 500 at a time. So by the time your book comes out, maybe you got 50 people on there. You're like, that's not a lot, but that's a lot when it comes to promoting a book, putting it out there, and 50 people bought it. 50 people pre-ordered your book versus 0 people ordering your book. Because if you're new and nobody knows who you are, they're not pre-ordering nothing. They're like, who is this person? Why she think I'm gonna pre-order her book? She better wait till it come out. Your newsletter people, they excited. They woo! I did pre-order for I had 150 people sign up for my book. Talking about something. Oh my God, people want to buy the book. They're excited about it. I talked about it. I got it ready. I kept telling people the book is coming. I'm writing the book. I gave them the experience all the way up to the book came. I told them how I was picking out an editor. I got my editor, how I was freaking out whenever I would send something to her. Then I got the proofreader. I explained my proofreader and how I freaked out on that, all the way up to that book release. So when it released, I didn't release to nobody. I released to a group of people who was excited about it. They were able to give me reviews and things like that. When you make it hard for yourself, you just have a hard time with it, and you can't, and then you get frustrated, and then you stop promoting because you're frustrated and it's not working the way you want to do. So build, as Angela said, that's what I teach too. Build that infrastructure, build it up till you have your house, and then you ready to promote. Once you got your house built, then you can open the door and say, hey, check out my book. But don't be opening the door when you only
come on in.
You only got a window.
Look, and LaShaunda.
Go ahead.
And LaShaunda, I'm glad that you mentioned about the newsletter. Guys, let me tell you, yes, listen to LaShaunda. You definitely want to have a newsletter. But in addition to that, LaShaunda, okay, you probably know what I'm about to say. I'm gonna need y'all to have a website. Okay, even if it's a landing page, I'm gonna need you to have a website, because the website, guess what? It is yours. You own that. You want to drive your readers and your followers to your website. So I definitely want you to have that. So when LaShaunda mentioned that about the newsletter, I wanted to let them know that it is important to have a website. And if you have to start small, and if it's just a landing page, start somewhere, but it's best to be able to have that set into place so you will have a place to send your readers to. Because me, and I know LaShaunda can probably say this as well, and this is probably a whole nother show, is that when readers find out about you, guess where the first place I look? It's your website. I try to go see if you got a website, because I want to see if you got a backlist. Not only that, I have a show. LaShaunda has a show, which LaShaunda probably know where I'm going with this. This is a whole nother probably live. I'm gonna need you to have a little mini marketing kit. Okay, I'm gonna need you to have a PR picture. LaShaunda, you my amen corner. I'm gonna need you to have a. I'm gonna need you to have a
2 hours.
I'm
not ready.
I'm gonna need them to have a mini. Okay, if you. Of course, there are several versions of your bio, but like we said, this is a whole nother show. But at least have a mini bio, okay? I'm gonna need you to have your stuff together, okay? Because when you are getting ready to market and go on tour, whether it's virtual or in person, we gonna need these things. But anyway, I'm gonna get off that, LaShaunda. I just wanted to put that out there because we're talking about marketing and promoting.
I'm gonna do another show. I was talking to Shawana about it. She's gonna kill me because our time is running out. But I'm gonna say this: I'm gonna invite you on because I want to do a show on getting ready for the interview. Because
yes, LaShaunda, we gotta talk to the people.
Yes. So Angela, tell us how they can reach you online, please.
Oh my goodness. Thank you, LaShaunda. I have enjoyed hanging out with you guys in the SORMAG audience on today. You can stay connected with me. My website is angelaandersonpresents.org. You can follow me on social media. I am on Instagram and Facebook, and I'm on TikTok. I do a little TikToking. Angela Anderson's Presents as well. That's how you can stay connected with me.
Thank you so much, Angela. I love talking to you again. Look, you teach me some stuff too, and that's what promotion is about. If you can learn from other people, even though you are a marketing person, that's what you're supposed to do. That's how you stay up to date too. You don't be still stuck in 2000 because it's not 2000 anymore. Things have changed a lot. Even at that having a marketing kit, people say now that you don't need a marketing kit. I say, don't be listening to them people.
LaShaunda, I said, okay.
we gonna come back and talk about that because I'm telling you, so many people send me pictures and I'll be like, okay,
that's a whole nother conversation.
Okay, we're not going there. We are not going there tonight. We not. But thank you, Angela. I really hope that everybody got some good tips, some marketing strategies that can help them get out there and start promoting their book, because that's what it's all about. People need to know you have a book. And I ask people all the time, have you promoted your book today? That's my question for you before we get out of here. Have you promoted your book today? Because if you have not promoted your book, then what you got to do, you got to go showcase those wings. Tell somebody about your book today.
Yes.
All right. That's what I tell you. If I tell you want to find me on LaShaunda Hoffman, I am everywhere. I ain't afraid to say that. I am everywhere. And if I'm not, I look like I am. Okay. And that's what you want to be. You want to look like you are. You want to look like you are. You schedule all those promotions and then you can go sit down and write your stuff. And then you come back and you have conversations with people who said something to you. Don't promote it, be a drive-by. Promote. Go engage with people, come back. I post 3 or 4 posts today. I went back and I'm saying hi to people. I talked about K-dramas today. Hey, I got me some, because I'm going to be off Sunday and I need me some K-dramas to watch. So I had to get some recommendations. That's how I started. Ask a question and then people come back and talk to you. So be engaged. Be engaged person. Be a engaged writer. Don't be up in your cubby just writing and expecting people to buy your books, because they only buy their books from controversy people. People got drama all the time. They always selling some books because people love drama. You want your drama in the books, not you. Don't be the drama. But have fun. Have fun. If you're not having fun, you're not doing it right. This book festival is supposed to be fun. It ain't supposed to be stressing you out. It's supposed to be having some good times, getting some information about promotion, writing, marketing, meeting people. I want you to meet at least 3 people here that can help you for 2024. Think about that. Get you 3 connections. Find 3 readers. That's your assignment. All right. So I'll see you on the next panel. It's going to be for the last for tonight. Business side of promoting. Come back and learn what you need to know about the business side, because that's the stuff we don't talk about, but we all need to know it. All right. So I'll see you in a few minutes.